Captain Jack Reed stood on the bridge of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon *, his eyes fixed on the blue-green planet growing larger on the main screen. Planet GX-419 looked peaceful from orbit, its swirling clouds hiding whatever dangers waited below. "Captain, final scan complete," said Tom, the ship's science officer. "Atmosphere is breathable. Temperature ranges from 15 to 35 degrees Celsius. Plenty of water. The mineral deposits are exactly where our initial scans showed them." Jack nodded. "And the wildlife warnings?" Tom's face grew serious. "Still in effect, sir. Several trading ships have reported aggressive predators. One species in particular seems especially dangerous. The locals have a name for them." "No locals, sir. But other space travelers call them Vex. They're the reason this resource-rich planet hasn't been claimed yet." Jack turned to face his team of 12 explorers gathered on the bridge. Their mission was simple: land on GX-419, collect samples of the rare minerals, and determine if a mining operation would be worth the trouble. "Listen up, everyone," Jack said. "This is not a vacation. We go down armed and in groups. No one wanders off alone. Dr. Bennett, you're our expert on alien life. What should we watch for?" Lisa Bennett stepped forward, her tablet displaying a blurry image. "This is the only clear picture we have of the Vex. They're fast, strong, and have natural armor plating. They hunt in groups and show surprising intelligence. The Galactic Database ranks them as the most lethal predators discovered so far." "Why are we even landing?" asked Mark, the youngest team member. "Because," Jack explained, "those minerals could power Earth's cities for a century. Our job is to find out if we can safely extract them." 3 hours later, Jack led the first team down in the dropship. The landing started smoothly, the craft descending through puffy white clouds. Then came the jolt. "What was that?" Jack shouted. The pilot struggled with the controls. "Something hit us. Something big." The dropship spun, alarms blaring. Through the viewport, Jack caught a glimpse of something massive with gleaming plates leaping impossibly high, its claws scraping the hull. "Vex," Lisa shouted. "They can jump higher than our reports indicated." The ship crashed through the canopy of massive trees, bouncing off trunks before slamming into the ground. The impact threw Jack against the wall. His head struck metal, and pain exploded behind his eyes. "Everyone out," he ordered, tasting blood. "Defensive positions." The team scrambled out of the damaged craft. Outside, strange bird-like creatures scattered from tall purple grass. The air smelled sweet and tangy. "Form a circle," Jack commanded. Back to back. They had barely taken positions when the attack came. 3 large shapes burst from the undergrowth, each the size of an earth tiger, but covered in overlapping blue-black plates. Their 6 limbs moved with frightening speed. "Vex," Lisa shouted, raising her stun rifle. The team fired, but the creatures moved too quickly. One of them charged straight at Jack. He fired twice, hitting it in the shoulder. The stun bolts seemed to only make it angrier. In the chaos, something exploded, perhaps a damaged fuel line from the ship. Jack was thrown backward into the dense forest. He tumbled down a slope, losing his weapon and communications device. Pain shot through his leg as he finally stopped rolling. When he looked up, he found himself alone in an alien forest. The sounds of battle had faded. Tall tree-like plants with blue bark surrounded him. Strange light filtered through purple leaves. Jack tried to stand but winced at the pain in his ankle. Not broken, but badly sprained. His communications device was gone, and he had no way to contact his team or the ship. A low growl made him freeze. 20 meters away, a Vex watched him from between 2 trees. It was larger than the ones that had attacked the ship. Its armored plates shimmered with an iridescent blue. 6 yellow eyes studied him with unmistakable intelligence. As it stepped forward, Jack knew he was in trouble. Unarmed and injured on an alien world, he faced the galaxy's most feared predator. and it was coming straight for him. Jack's heart raced as the Vex moved closer. He backed away slowly, searching for anything to use as a weapon. His training taught him to stay calm, but facing the galaxy's deadliest predator made that difficult. The Vex stopped suddenly. Its head turned sharply to the right, its 6 yellow eyes narrowing. It sniffed the air, then limped quickly into the undergrowth. Jack noticed something he had missed before. The creature was injured. Dark liquid dripped from its back leg, leaving small puddles on the forest floor. Curious and relieved to be alive, Jack followed at a safe distance. His ankle hurt with each step, but his explorer's instinct pushed him forward. Through the trees, he heard a strange sound, like metal sliding against metal. The Vex had stopped in a small clearing. Jack crouched behind a fallen tree and watched. The creature was caught in some kind of trap, a web of thin, shining wires that cut into its armored plates. The more it struggled, the tighter the wires became. Jack recognized the technology. Poachers, he whispered to himself. Illegal hunters who traveled the galaxy looking for rare creatures to kill and sell. The Vex thrashed, making that strange metallic sound again. Now Jack understood. It was the sound of the creature's plates grinding together. The trap was slowly cutting through the armor. Jack had 2 choices: leave the dangerous creature to die, or help it. The smart decision was obvious. No one would blame him for walking away from the most feared predator in known space. He sighed and stood up. I'm probably going to regret this. The Vex spotted him immediately. It growled but couldn't move toward him. Its yellow eyes tracked Jack's every movement as he approached slowly. I'm going to help you, Jack said, knowing the creature couldn't understand his words, but hoping his tone might convey something. But if you eat me afterward, I'm going to be very disappointed. Jack examined the trap without getting too close. It had a control box on one side. If he could reach it, he might be able to deactivate the wires. The Vex watched him curiously. It had stopped struggling. That's right, Jack said softly. I'm not here to hurt you. He moved carefully around the edge of the trap. The Vex's head followed him, but it made no aggressive moves. Jack reached the control box and opened it. Inside was a simple timer and release mechanism. Poachers planned to come back later when you were too weak to fight, Jack muttered. He pressed the release button. The wires loosened immediately. The Vex pulled free, its armored body glistening with blue-black iridescence and dark blood. Jack tensed, ready to run, but the creature didn't attack. Instead, it collapsed onto its side, breathing heavily. Now Jack could see the full extent of its injuries. The wires had cut deeply in several places. One leg was badly damaged, and there was an older wound on its side that looked infected. You've been through a lot, haven't you? Jack said. The Vex's yellow eyes blinked slowly. It made a soft clicking sound. Making another questionable decision, Jack removed the small medical kit from his belt. He approached carefully, showing the kit to the creature as if it could understand. This might help, if you let me. To Jack's amazement, the Vex remained still as he knelt beside it. His hand shook as he applied antiseptic spray to the worst cuts. The creature flinched but didn't attack. As the light faded from the alien sky, Jack finished bandaging the worst wounds. He sat back on a rock, exhausted and hungry, but feeling strangely proud. The Vex's eyes never left him. In the growing darkness, they glowed slightly. I think I'll call you Rex, Jack said. It seems fitting. The creature made that clicking sound again. Then, slowly and painfully, it dragged itself closer to Jack, not in an attacking motion, but almost like a dog seeking warmth from its master. Jack held his breath as the galaxy's most feared predator settled down next to him, close enough that he could feel heat radiating from its armored body. Night fell on the alien world, and human and predator rested side by side. The beginning of something unprecedented in galactic history. Jack woke to something prodding his shoulder. He opened his eyes to find Rex pushing a strange blue fruit toward him with one clawed limb. The morning light filtered through the purple leaves above, casting spotted shadows on the forest floor. "Is this for me?" Jack asked, sitting up slowly. Rex made a clicking sound and nudged the fruit closer. Jack examined the fruit carefully. His training included basic knowledge of which alien plants were typically safe for humans. This one had all the right signs: smooth skin, sweet smell, no spines or oozing liquids. "Thanks," he said, taking a small bite. It tasted like a mix of pear and orange. "Not bad." Rex watched him eat, then limped to a nearby tree and clawed at the bark until more fruits fell. The Vex's movements were smoother today. The medicine had helped. Over the next few hours, Jack tried to fix his broken communication device using parts from his emergency kit. Rex stayed nearby, occasionally bringing more food or interesting objects: shiny stones, unusual plants, once even a small harmless creature that looked like a cross between a frog and a butterfly. "You're trying to help me, aren't you?" Jack said, amazed. "Everyone in the galaxy thinks your kind are just killing machines." By midday, Jack had made progress on the communicator. He needed to contact his ship before they gave up looking for him. As he worked, he talked to Rex, explaining what he was doing. The Vex seemed to listen, tilting its head when Jack's tone changed. "Let me try something," Jack said. He pointed to himself. "Jack." Then he pointed to the Vex. "Rex." The creature made a rumbling sound deep in its throat. Jack repeated the process several times. On the fifth try, Rex made a different noise when Jack pointed to himself, a sound like jaw. Jack's eyes widened. "You're trying to say my name." Over the next few hours, they developed more sounds. Jack learned that Rex made different clicking patterns for danger, food, and rest. Rex learned to respond to simple commands like hum and stop. As the sun began to set on their second day together, Jack's repaired communicator suddenly beeped. A voice crackled through the static. "Captain Reed, do you copy? This is the Horizon *. Please respond." Jack grabbed the device. "This is Reed. I'm alive, about 5 kilometers south of the crash site." "Thank goodness," the voice replied. "We're sending a rescue team. Stay where you are." Jack looked at Rex, who was watching him curiously. "There's something else. I'm not alone. I've made contact with a Vex." Silence followed. Then, "Captain, get away from it immediately. Those things are killers." "No, you don't understand," Jack said firmly. "This one is different. It saved me, brought me food." More silence. Finally, "We're coming armed, Captain. ETA 20 minutes." The communication ended. Jack turned to Rex, who seemed to sense his worry. "My friends are coming," Jack explained, knowing the words meant nothing to the creature. "They might try to hurt you if they don't understand." Rex made a low rumbling sound and moved closer to Jack, sitting beside him like a giant armored guard dog. When the rescue team arrived at the edge of the clearing, their weapons raised, they froze at the sight before them. Captain Jack Reed sat calmly beside the galaxy's most feared predator, his hand resting on its armored head. "Lower your weapons," Jack called out. "Rex is a friend." Dr. Lisa Bennett stepped forward, her face showing complete disbelief. "Captain, that's impossible. Vex don't form bonds with other species. They kill everything they meet." "Not this one," Jack said. "And I don't think the others are what we thought either. Rex has intelligence, Lisa. Real intelligence." As if to prove Jack's point, Rex placed a blue fruit on the ground in front of the stunned rescue team. An offering. Lisa's scientific curiosity overcame her fear. She knelt down to examine the fruit. "It's bringing us food. This changes everything we know about these creatures." Jack smiled. "I think that's just the beginning of what we're going to learn." 1 week had passed since Jack's rescue. The Earth exploration vessel Horizon remained in orbit around planet GX 419, while Jack, Lisa, and a small research team set up camp near the forest edge. Rex had become a regular visitor, often bringing other curious Vex to observe the humans from a safe distance. "They're like nothing I've ever studied," Lisa said, reviewing footage of Rex interacting with Jack. "Their social structure is complex. They're not just predators. They're a civilization." Jack nodded. He and Rex had developed an impressive system of communication through sounds and gestures. He could now ask Rex to find certain plants or warn about dangerous areas. In return, Rex seemed to understand most of Jack's simple commands. "Captain," Tom called from the edge of camp. "Something's wrong with Rex." Jack hurried outside. Rex was pacing nervously, making sharp clicking sounds Jack had never heard before. "What is it, buddy?" Jack asked. Rex growled and nudged Jack toward the forest, then ran a few steps in that direction before looking back. "I think he wants us to follow him," Jack said. He grabbed his pack and a weapon. "Lisa, Tom, come with me. Everyone else, stay alert." They followed Rex deeper into the forest than they had ever gone before. After 20 minutes of fast travel, Rex stopped and crouched low. Jack and the others did the same. Through the trees, they saw a terrible sight. A group of 5 aliens in armored suits were setting up more wire traps like the one that had caught Rex. Nearby, 3 dead Vex lay on the ground, their armored plates partially removed. "Poachers," Lisa whispered. "From the Krillic Empire, judging by their suits. They hunt rare species across the galaxy." Rex made a low sound of distress. Jack realized why Rex had brought them here. This was his family group. "We need to stop them," Jack said. "Those plates they're taking, are they valuable?" Tom nodded. "Extremely. The armor plating of a Vex can deflect most energy weapons. Some people pay fortunes for armor made from it." Jack's mind raced, searching for a plan. Suddenly, Rex tensed. In the distance, more Vex had appeared, a group of 7, approaching the hunters cautiously. "They're going to attack," Jack realized. "The hunters will slaughter them." Without thinking further, Jack stood and fired a warning shot into the air. "This is Captain Jack Reed of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. You are engaged in illegal poaching on a protected planet." It was a bluff. GX-419 wasn't officially protected yet, but the hunters didn't know that. The headhunter turned, his alien face visible through his helmet visor. "Humans have no authority here. These beasts are valuable, and we will take them." "These beasts are intelligent beings," Lisa called out. "We've established communication with them." The hunter laughed. "Impossible. Vex are mindless killers." While they argued, Jack noticed Rex growing more agitated. Their eyes met, and something strange happened. Jack felt a sudden pressure in his head, like someone was squeezing his brain. Images flashed in his mind, attacking from the left while the Vex charged from the right. "Rex is communicating with me," Jack gasped. "What?" Lisa asked. "I don't know how, but we need to split up. You 2 go left. Make noise. I'll go right." As Jack moved right, the newly arrived Vex seemed to understand the plan. When Lisa and Tom began shouting and firing warning shots from the left, the hunters turned toward them. At that moment, Jack and the Vex charged from the right. The hunters, caught by surprise, scattered. Rex leaped with incredible speed, knocking down the leader. The other Vex surrounded the remaining hunters, not attacking but clearly threatening. Jack stood beside Rex, facing the lead hunter. "Leave now. Tell everyone that this planet and the Vex are under Earth's protection." The hunters retreated to their ship, outmatched and outmaneuvered. As they disappeared into the sky, Rex made a sound almost like a purr. The other Vex approached Jack cautiously, some touching his arms or clothes with gentle claws. "I think you've just been adopted by the whole family," Lisa said, amazed. Jack smiled, placing his hand on Rex's armored head. "And I think we just discovered something new about Vex. They can form mental links with humans." "Captain Reed, you've created quite a mess." Jack stood in the Horizon's communication room, facing the stern image of Admiral Wilson on the large screen. 2 weeks had passed since the confrontation with the poachers, and news had spread across the galaxy. "Sir, I was protecting an intelligent species from illegal hunters," Jack replied. "The Krillic Empire disagrees," said the Admiral. "They claim their citizens were attacked while on a legal hunting expedition. They're demanding compensation." Lisa stepped forward. "Admiral, I've documented evidence proving the Vex are intelligent. They communicate, use tools, and even have rudimentary art forms. We found cave walls with painted symbols." The Admiral sighed. "Dr. Bennett, most of the galaxy views Vex as monsters. For centuries, they'd been known only as killers. Your research contradicts everything we thought we knew." Jack felt a flash of anger. "Sir, with respect, that's exactly why our work is important. The galaxy is wrong about the Vex." "Perhaps," the Admiral said. "But politics are involved now. The Galactic Council is debating the status of GX-419 and the Vex. Earth stands mostly alone in defending them. I've been ordered to bring your team home." "We can't leave," Jack insisted. "The poachers will return." "That's not your concern, Captain. Your orders are to pack up and prepare for departure in 3 days." The screen went blank. Jack slammed his fist on the table. "We can't abandon them," he said. Lisa nodded. "I agree. But what can we do against direct orders?" Tom, who had been quietly listening, spoke up. "Maybe we need more evidence, something no one can ignore." Later that day, Jack went to the forest to meet Rex. Their mental connection had grown stronger. Jack couldn't read Rex's thoughts exactly, but he could sense emotions and simple ideas. When Rex appeared at the edge of the camp, Jack felt the creature's immediate concern. "You sense something's wrong," Jack said. Rex made a low clicking sound and touched Jack's shoulder with a gentle claw. "We've been ordered to leave," Jack explained, using both words and mental images. "My leaders don't believe me about you and your kind." Rex tilted his head, then did something unexpected. He turned and made a series of clicks and growls toward the forest. 3 more Vex emerged, one much older with faded armor plates. The old Vex approached Jack slowly. "Who's this?" Jack asked Rex. Rex pushed gently on Jack's forehead, their signal to open the mental link. When Jack did, a flood of images filled his mind. The old Vex teaching young ones, healing injured Vex with plants, leading the group away from dangers. Jack understood. "This is your leader," he said with awe. "Your elder." The old Vex placed a claw on Jack's head. The mental connection that formed was much stronger than with Rex. Jack gasped as clear images and feelings flowed into his mind. He saw the Vex's history, peaceful creatures who were hunted, experimented on, and turned into weapons by an ancient alien race. He felt their fear, pain, and the desperate need to protect themselves that had been passed down through generations. When the connection broke, Jack was on his knees, tears streaming down his face. "Lisa," he called, his voice shaking, "bring your recording equipment. Now." For the next hour, Jack served as a bridge between the Vex Elder and Lisa's scientific instruments. Through their mental link, the Elder shared the truth about their species, not natural killers, but victims of cruel genetic manipulation designed to create the perfect weapon. "This changes everything," Lisa whispered, reviewing the brain scan data. "With this evidence, the Galactic Council can't ignore the truth." Jack looked at Rex and the Elder. "We won't abandon you. I promise." The old Vex made a sound like a sigh, then touched Jack's chest with a gentle claw, a gesture of trust that transcended species. "The Galactic Council will now hear the case regarding planet GX-419 and the Vex species." Jack stood nervously in the grand meeting chamber on New Geneva Space Station. Representatives from 27 spacefaring civilizations sat in a semicircle before him. Lisa and Tom stood beside him, along with Admiral Wilson, who had surprisingly changed his position after seeing Lisa's evidence. Most shocking to everyone present was the fourth member of their group, Rex, wearing a specially designed translator collar that could convert his clicks and growls into simple words. Many council members shifted uncomfortably when Rex entered. Some even placed hands near their weapons. Captain Reed began the council leader, a tall blue-skinned being from the Altair system. You claim that the Vex, known throughout the galaxy as merciless killers, are actually victims of genetic manipulation. This is a serious accusation. Jack nodded. Yes, council leader. With your permission, I would like to show what I discovered through my mental link with the Vex Elder. Mental link, gasped several council members. The Vex have limited telepathic abilities, Lisa explained. We've documented this extensively. Captain Reed has developed a strong connection with Rex and other Vex. The council leader waved a long-fingered hand. Proceed with your evidence. Jack moved to the center of the chamber where a brain imaging device waited. This will project what I remember from the Elder's memories. As the device activated, images appeared on the large screens around the chamber. The council members watched in stunned silence as the story unfolded. Long ago, the Vex were peaceful herbivores with limited natural armor. Then came the Ancients, an now extinct race that captured many Vex and altered their genetic code, making them stronger, more aggressive, and giving them natural weapons. The Ancients used these modified Vex as living weapons in their wars. When the Ancients eventually destroyed themselves, they abandoned the modified Vex on various planets across the galaxy. Without guidance, the Vex followed their programmed instincts to hunt, to kill, to survive at all costs. But on GX-419, their original homeworld, some Vex retained fragments of their original nature. Over thousands of years, they developed a society again, passing down memories of what they once were. As the images faded, the chamber remained silent. Even the most skeptical council members seemed shaken. The Krillic representative spoke first. This is very moving, Captain, but it proves nothing. These could be fabrications. They are not. Rex's translator collar spoke in a rough mechanical voice. Everyone stared in shock. It was the first time Rex had spoken to anyone besides Jack using the device. Rex stepped forward, his armored body gleaming under the chamber lights. We remember. We know what we were. What we could be again. The council leader leaned forward. You can. Speak for yourself. Yes, Rex answered. Jack helped me learn. We want peace. No more hunting us. No more fear. A council member from Earth's closest ally, the Proxima Coalition, stood. I move that we immediately classify the Vex as an intelligent species with full rights and protections under galactic law. I second this motion, Admiral Wilson said firmly. Debates erupted across the chamber. Some representatives argued against the motion, citing centuries of Vex attacks. Others supported it, impressed by the evidence and Rex's speech. During a break in the proceedings, Jack knelt beside Rex in a quiet corner. How do you feel? Jack asked. Rex's translator converted his soft clicks. Scared. Hopeful. Like new beginning. Jack smiled. Whatever happens, you're not alone anymore. When the council reconvened, the vote was taken. By a narrow margin, the motion passed. Planet GX-419 would become a protected Vex sanctuary, with Earth scientists assisting in studying their society and helping them recover their peaceful nature. As they left the chamber, Jack felt a strange sensation. The mental link with Rex opened, but this time it was different, clearer, stronger. In his mind, Jack saw not just images but felt a complete thought from Rex. Thank you for seeing us when others saw only monsters. 6 months had passed since the Galactic Council's historic decision. Planet GX-419, now officially named Harmony by joint agreement between humans and Vex, had become a place of learning and healing. Jack stood on a hilltop overlooking the main settlement. What had begun as a simple research camp had grown into a small community where scientists from Earth worked alongside Vex to discover more about their shared future. Captain Reed called Lisa, climbing the hill to join him. The delegates are arriving. It's almost time for the ceremony. Jack nodded. Today marked the formal opening of the Interspecies Communication Center, the first place in the galaxy specifically designed for humans and Vex to work together. "How's Rex doing with his speech?" Jack asked. Lisa smiled. "Practicing constantly. The new translator implant works much better than the collar. He can express complex ideas now." They walked down to the central clearing where a crowd had gathered. Representatives from 15 different planets stood nervously in the presence of over 30 Vex, including Rex and the Elder. Jack felt pride seeing how far they had come, from fear to cautious cooperation. Admiral Wilson approached Jack. "Quite a change from our conversation 6 months ago," he said. "I have to admit, I didn't believe it was possible." "Most people didn't," Jack replied. "The galaxy spent centuries seeing only one side of the Vex, the side that the ancients created through their manipulation." The Admiral nodded toward Rex, who was greeting guests. "And how is your connection with him now?" "Stronger every day," Jack said. "We can share complete thoughts and even some emotions. The scientists think all humans might have this potential for mental linking with Vex. It just needs the right trust to develop." The ceremony began with speeches from both human and alien representatives. Then Rex stepped forward. The crowd fell silent. "Once we were feared." Rex's new translator converted his sounds into clear words. "Once we knew only how to hunt and kill. This was not our choice. We were made this way by those who saw us as tools, not living beings." Rex's 6 yellow eyes swept across the audience, but one human saw it differently. "When Captain Jack Reed found me injured and trapped, he could have left me to die. Many would say that was the wise choice. Instead, he showed kindness." Jack felt a wave of emotion through their mental link. Gratitude, hope, and friendship. "Today we begin a new chapter," Rex continued. "Through our connection with humans, we are remembering our true nature. The mental link we share is helping us control the violent instincts forced upon us by the ancients. We are learning peace again." The Elder Vex stepped forward next to Rex and raised a clawed hand. A young Vex approached, carrying something in its front claws, a small sapling with purple leaves. "This is a friendship tree," Rex explained. "On ancient Vex, before the change, our ancestors planted these to mark new beginnings." Together, Jack and the Elder dug a hole in the center of the clearing and planted the sapling. As they patted the soil around it, applause broke out from the human delegates, while the Vex made their clicking sounds of approval. The most remarkable moment came next. A small alien child from the Proxima delegation wandered away from her parents and approached the group of young Vex watching from the edge of the clearing. Everyone tensed, but Jack felt calm reassurance through his link with Rex. The young Vex, barely half-grown, lowered itself to the child's level. Slowly, carefully, it extended one claw. The sharp edge retracted. The child, fearless in the way only children can be, reached out and touched the armored plate on the Vex's head. "Friends," the child said simply. The young Vex made a soft purring sound and gently pressed its head against the child's hand. Jack smiled, blinking back tears. This was why humans explored the stars, not just to find new resources or planets, but to forge connections across the vast differences between species, to see beyond fear and find understanding. This was humanity's greatest strength.